first question is just before working together on the new season of My Life is Murder, when was the last time you saw each other in person?
Ooh, was it 3? It's within a month, right? Like a month ago?
Well, yeah. before My Life is Murder, I feel like you were in Los Angeles. And we had lunch.
My life, yeah.
Maybe. No. I think it might have been in Colorado.
To say probably a fan convention or something.
A convention,
at some point.
Yeah.
Oh. No, Toronto.
Was it Toronto?
No.
I'm sure they all start to run together at a certain point, I'm sure.
There was a brief moment where we saw each other back to back over a couple different cities. And so that was the last time.
And when it did come time to work together on this, I saw that you had to Renee still did do 2 weeks of quarantine once you touched down in New Zealand. Just was that frustrating to have that reunion kind of delayed even more?
Well, honestly, it was perfect for me because I came from a very busy environment in America and a very politically charged environment in America. So it's nice to go to New Zealand and just unwind and decompress. So I honestly, 2 weeks was longer than I wanted to wait to see Lucy, but it was so nice to just slow down. And then I came out of quarantine on Lucy's birthday. So the timing was perfect. So I went straight to the set and saw her.
I didn't recognize it. There was some weird American lady making goofy comments at me in the lunch line, and I was like, what
are you doing here?
That was Renee.
Let's have cake
with the masks and everything. I couldn't tell who she was. I wasn't expecting it.
The nice birthday surprise, though, right?
It was cool.
So wonderful.
It was so nice.
And for Lucy, I guess, how did you all kind of decide that this was the role that Renee should take on? I know you talked about wanting to work with her in the first season, but it just couldn't happen. Right. So how did this come about?
The role was written for a man.
Okay.
Initially. And we had been talking about what can we put Ren in? Can we get Renee down? Can we bureaucratically work it out? Because it was very difficult. Is she available? Does she want to? Will she tolerate? To do 2 weeks in quarantine is just hideous. So thank you, Renee. But I think that would have been it was maybe Claire and Mark were the ones who figured out that no, let's have Renee in the finale and let's change this role to be a woman for her. So
cool.
Yeah.
It's such a fun little role too. You're kind of like this guru cult leader kind of thing.
I've never played anything like that before. I've been in plays where I was a woman whose whose daughter went into a cult, but I've never been the actual cult leader. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
And she's quite terrifying.
I'm sure.
She is.
She's quite terrifying. She's like
yes.
Scary freaking steel magnolia.
Scary, right?
Like perfectly put together, but there's something creepy going on there.
Yeah. I remember, Lucy, I was sending you those videos of that guy that was a current cult leader. That
was that your research?
Mm-hmm.
When it did come time to shoot, how fun was it to do something that is so completely different from Xena? Obviously modern setting, like normal, comfortable clothes, just being around each other again. Just what was that like?
To me, Ren, it didn't feel that different. It felt like no time at all had passed. Because we were both accustomed to mixing up the roles, even and Xena and Gabrielle were often different things,
Yes.
So that was not different. It was just, the uncanny thing was how little time had passed.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Like just working with Lucy, it felt like I just left.
Most natural thing in the world.
Yeah, completely, which is why I would love to do it again. The character, though, was pretty out there. So I don't think I felt comfortable in my skin, but that actually was perfect for the opportunity of the role anyway. The big hair. Oh.
I know this was filmed during the ongoing pandemic, but were you able to spend time together offset? And I'm curious what the reaction is like when people do see you two together.
I was able to stay with Lucy. Lucy invited me to stay with her the whole time, but when I
Okay.
knew it was going to be over 2 months, and I knew she was working constantly nonstop, I chose to just sort of give her a little more space and stay elsewhere until the very end. And honestly, the last week I stayed with her was the best time I had with Lucy, because it was just so relaxing to be able to just have, a little more of time to chat with her besides in the middle of a filming session.
And to meet her beautiful boy who's in New Zealand studying drama was just like just closing the circle of family, because I'd known him as a little boy, but he didn't know me. And so the fact that he's become an actor of all our, between the two of us, he's the only one of the 5 kids who has any interest in the business.
Isn't that funny? It's just amazing.
Yeah. Right, and he's out there. I know he's in New Zealand studying. Just how was it having your son, because he's also on the show, Renee, how was it having him be involved in this? And is it wild that he is back in New Zealand kind of around the same age you were when you started filming Xena?
Yeah, I've definitely take that.
That's true, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been very aware that he is sort of recreating the same steps. He decided to leave for New Zealand and he hasn't come back, and he's really not planning on coming back anytime soon, which is exactly the experience I had. And he's just in love with everything about New Zealand. So I'm so thrilled for him. Working with him wasn't unusual because we've been doing several plays and musicals and even filming projects together. I've been fortunate.
Yeah, Renee's family is a like a little rep theatre on their own. Yeah,
or the Von Trapp
family.
But honestly, working with Lucy was a whole nother level for him, and he was so excited. Honestly, every day he was just like, I can't believe I'm working with Lucy Lawless, and he was so nervous about working with her and getting it right and being perfect, and
which is part of your rite of passage as an actor. You're always going to, if you're a real actor, you're going to worry about that no matter what. But I wanted to make sure that he, like everybody else who comes on the show, feels the most relaxed they can, so they can do their best work. And
she did.
Yeah, and he's fab. It's fantastic.
You definitely did that for him, Lucy.
It's good.
I know you have already said you kind of can't wait to work together again. I know, like I said, the fans were very excited about this, and the question we got over and over again is, when can we see you again after this? Like, this hasn't even aired yet and they're already ready for the next thing. But does that one make you, it's got to feel lovely. Nice to hear.
That is.
Yes.
That's amazing. I just hope they soak up this opportunity, and then share it with everybody, and enjoy the episode and enjoy all of Lucy's shows, enjoy the seasons, support the show completely. That's what I'm hoping for.
Ren and I, Renee comes and helps me. She came and helped me do a little passion project, and she was my lovely assistant and helped with the crew and fed the crew and all this stuff. Anyway, you came a long way. And I was just, she and I will be working together for sure. But
yeah, I can't wait. Whatever.
And is it? I'm sure things like this, Zoom, FaceTime help. But what is it like, to keep in contact when you guys are obviously so separated? I mean, Lucy, I'm sure you're in New Zealand right now.
But it's like family in the modern world, isn't it? I mean, Zoom,
right?
Yeah.
And you know what? We don't even need it.
Yeah.
She and I are like two halves of that experience meant that we're just forever connected.
Yeah.
Hey, Renee, you complete me.
You complete me. No, it's nice though, after all this time, to see other ways that we can work together. I mean, even just helping. Honestly, I was just there at this one tiny moment of what Lucy's working on at the moment. But I would do anything just to hang out with her and work with her. It's just because she's a cool lady to begin with, and she's a dear friend, and and yeah. So it's cool. These Zoom opportunities are my chance just to say, hey, how's it going, Luce? And then until we get to see each other again, and to see you, of course. And I really appreciate you guys supporting this, our relationship through the years,
I'm
Yes,
curious
no.
because, you know, obviously your son is in this. What do both of your kids think of your Xena legacies now that they're old enough to, I think, appreciate it? Obviously, some of them weren't even born or were just children when the show began, but have they watched it? Do they appreciate it? Do they understand?
No, my kids
No.
don't have any interest. I might as well work in a bank. No, they're the stars of their own lives.
Of
So
course.
it's surprised when other people give a damn.
Are they? That's so interesting.
Mm.
That's so funny. Mine, well, obviously Miles had a sort of a moment with Lucy, so it was very evident. And then my daughter, little things creep up here and there. She was just in a musical that I was directing, and she was an understudy for a certain role, but I added this stunt version of sort of like a Xena moment in Beauty and the Beast because I wanted to.
Nice.
So when I was showing her the stunt, it was my opportunity to bring out this little Gabrielle staff. And she was like, oh, you know, she didn't understand why I knew so much about this little weapon of choice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, so little moments come out. And
that's fun.
That's right. So both Renee's
Yeah.
children are interested in the performance, and
yours not so much.
none of mine. Not at all.
And I mean, another fan question we got was if you could travel back to any day on the set of Xena or a specific episode maybe that you would love to maybe relive or redo, what would it be?
I know mine would be a day in the life. It was when Michael Hurst it was so much fun. It was one of the first times that a comedy came through, and we had a ball. Michael Hurst was directing, and it set the tone of the comedies, don't you think, Lucy? Early on,
that was a beaut. One episode I really liked, and I'm quite proud of my work on it, was Old Aries Had a Farm, where actually Xena was not the focus of the episode at all. I was kind of an extra in my own show, and just relaxing into that makes you do just really great work. Yeah, I'm sort of proud of that. I guess that it's more filmic, you know, when you're not acting at all. In fact, you're just a bit of a zero, and it makes you really kind of fascinating.
You get to kind of see what everyone else is watching when you're usually in the front and center. It gives you a chance to kind of absorb it all.
That's right. There was something magical there happened just on an acting.
I'd like to see the Debt again. That one would be interesting to revisit after all this time. I know it was heavy and hard, but wow, I liked it. Beautiful.
And I hate any of the ones where we were in pain.
Bring it on. And my last question was, you know, Lucy, especially, you've been very, I think, vocal and active on Twitter now. Are you happy to be in a place where you do have this platform where you can do something with it? And were you surprised how much attention you got earlier this year for calling out Kevin Sorbo on Twitter?
I was surprised about that. Just shows the level of resonance that those characters still have for people these days.
That's true.
But, you know, needs must. You've got to speak your mind. And I'm a big believer in a clean justice system and a clean political system. And I fear for what is going on in not just here, but in many countries. I'm working with this guy, Stephen Donziger, a human rights lawyer that Big Oil is trying to jail, and they've already vilified and, you know, tried to destroy him, and now they want to throw him in jail. And over my
say it.
Not even one day in jail. This man should not spend even one day in jail. And so looking for a judge with even an ounce of morality and love for actual justice and the law to come in and fix that mess, because his only crime was to win a major judgment for the people, the indigenous people of Ecuador, against an oil company that had deliberately polluted their homelands, and to this day, and given them all horrible cancers, and they've lost their limbs, and the only one who's paying is that lawyer.
Yeah. Well, I think fans are obviously very happy to see you still fighting now for even something greater. And I appreciate you and applaud you for doing that as well. And thank you both for your time today. I hope fans get a kick out of this reunion, and I hope we see you together again soon.
Thanks so much.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good
Nice
one.
to meet you.